All right, everyone. They're tiny, they're toony, they're all a little loony. Let's throw it over to Red Ninja Josh with Tiny Toons. So excited to say that.
It made me smile. So, this is Tiny Toons for Genesis. It's pretty much a Sonic clone, except for they didn't get a lot of the things that Sonic did.
They're
right.
tinier and toonier, I'd imagine.
A little bit loonier.
Blue, though, so they got that right.
So, I'm going to have Turbo pretty much backing me up on commentary because he knows this game in and out. Right?
That's correct.
Okay. So I'm ready on time. Go to options to let you know that I'm going to be running on the easiest difficulty. I'm just kidding. It's just a game with no difficulty setting. So
for children.
We're good. That doesn't change the difficulty, really. All right, so I'm going to do 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to be ready. So, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so the first thing about this game is it's controls very weird. You're going to see me jump start at the beginning of every stage like that to get my momentum forward, to get it pretty much maxed out.
Like Sonic.
Like Sonic, except for Sonic actually builds up speed at a nice gradual pace as well. Buster does not. He just really, really walks till he gets full speed. It takes forever. And jumping mechanics actually very interesting too. If you get to the top of your jump, you'll gradually increase your height, except for before you get to the top of your jump, if you just hit a release jump, you drop like a weight. I showed Turbo that earlier. It's very funky.
Yeah, so when you jump, if you release jump before you hit the peak of your jump, you just fall like a rock, which is really unintuitive when you're trying to play a game casually and you're used to kind of this nice arc on your jumps. But it's actually really good for speedrunning in certain parts of this, because as you're trying to do vertical climbs, like jump on top of a platform and go upward, it allows you to more quickly get on the platform and start your next jump, which we'll get to see in a little bit here.
Pretty much just trying to stay on the ground as much as we can.
And like we made the thing that is a little bit like kind of a Sonic clone. But this is actually a pretty good game for it. And one of the main things is that the camera does a really good job of kind of keeping up with the action and giving you enough sight in front of you to be able to plan your next move.
So that was a wall jump. We'll see those a lot more. And got it. No, so that's really fun to do. We'll be skipping platforms like that a lot. Precise jumps and releasing forwards to actually control your jump. It's just very funky in the air. You'll see at the bottom of the left-hand screen, there's 3 hearts. You're able to collect bells and they add an extra heart container. We will be taking advantage of that. You can max out at 5. If you die on any of the stages, you lose all your hearts, and that is really bad for later on, since we use them to damage boost through almost all the levels once we get all of them.
This is our first boss, well, kind of boss of the game. You want to talk about a couple of the intricacies of this boss before you just completely demolish him?
So, Dizzy does his own thing. Every boss is pretty much 5 hits. You get to him as quickly as you can, hit him on his head, and just wait for him to come back 5 hits. Pretty much cycle through it like that. Dizzy's RNG, as you saw, he could just be at the top of the screen. I've seen him sit up there for at least 15 seconds, just hovering and hovering until he finally lands. Then it goes on. So this is where we get an extra heart piece and where the game just amps up in control and how these levels work. The next one is going to be really tricky because well, we'll get an extra heart here, and then hopefully we don't lose in the next level because it just goes 0 to 10 really quickly.
I mean, what would a 16-bit platforming game be without secrets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And just death pits of spikes in the middle of this forest.
Yes, there are 2 different spikes in this game, actually. There are spikes that you saw at the bottom of the screen. They're tall spikes, they're instant death. Then there are short spikes, they just take 1 heart. So there are really 2 enemy spikes in this game.
And like many other kind of platforming games where you have health to play with, damage boosting is going to play a pretty large part once we get a few more levels in, right, Josh?
Yeah, it makes a big difference. This is going to be, this is kind of a tricky level. This is where runs usually go to die. But we'll be fine. I'm just saying that. We'll find out in a second.
Josh, we do have a quick donation for you from Crazy Rockman.
Oh man, go for
He
it.
gave $15 and said, Josh, you are just too high level to be playing this game. What do you have to say in response to that?
I wish that was true.
Don't we all?
I appreciate it, man.
You actually mentioned, Josh, when we were in the practice room, that this game had kind of gone, I guess, underutilized or underdeveloped as a speed game until somebody really cracked it open due to kind of a love of the game.
Yeah.
To kind of give them a shout out. Talk about
Outside Lutz, I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong. He's an old school runner. SMB3 guys know him. He just destroyed this game, and it is impressive. Some of these strats that you see me trying to do, I mostly just got from his video. It's just crazy, but it's about a minute-and-a-half record difference.
Bit of extra lore there. That said tiny carrots. Might have missed that. Can we expect a 12-hour dedicated Tiny Toons lore streams?
Yeah.
After this?
Yeah. It's gonna be right after the 007 all Bond games stream.
All off-brand 007 games.
So sorry these levels are going by so quickly. It's just really hard to describe what's going on because it just goes by so quickly if it's done right. So far these things have been going well, so they look good. We're gonna do a level skip here because this is a stupid maze in a platforming game. We lure this bird down here, jump on his head, and just get right to the end. Fun fact about this level is that if you actually kill that bird and don't make it onto the platform, he does not respawn. So you have to kill yourself and lose your extra hearts, which is really awesome. We're going into the second boss now, which is, you'll notice that all these bosses have the same mad scientist, but every Tiny Toon will be in the fight. And here we have Calamity Coyote.
I'm kind of disappointed actually that you mentioned Calamity's name. I was gonna quiz our host over here, but now I guess that's ruined.
Well,
Josh.
we still have a couple more
All right.
characters.
Some good animation on that almost falling.
I mean, the sprites in this game are really clear, and it's just cute. I mean, it's really, I think it's well done. And this is where we're gonna get our last heart piece. This level actually has a really neat section skip in it. Once again, shout outs to Outside Lutz. Just call me X from now on. But this is a great little climb. Hopefully I could do it here. This is what I was talking about earlier. We are going to be utilizing our wall climb ability, which we kind of abuse. We don't really use it the way they want us to.
Nice manipulation of the shot there to get started.
And we did it. So that saves a good amount of time. And those wall jumps are really, really funky. So you actually have to... The game is meant for you to be able to jump off of a wall and not go back. But if you could cancel that animation by just hitting back towards the wall at the right time. It's the jump off the wall that's the most difficult.
Yeah, it's one of those things like the Super Metroid wall climbs where it's like, it looks so... When somebody does it well, you're like, oh, that looks easy. And then you actually pick up a controller and try it, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's very funky. And you could do those wall climbs really slow, but you know, if it's efficient to do it obviously faster and shorter bursts like that.
Remember that episode of Tiny Toons where Buster went into a crystal maze with death traps?
Yes. Did you know that all the Tiny Toons aren't directly related to Tiny Toons?
We're getting into the deep lore now.
Yeah.
That's a preview.
It's
You
because
gotta subscribe to Josh for the rest of that.
It's because I have no gameplay to talk about. We're going to talk about Tiny Toons.
So you're saying if I follow and subscribe to R3DninjaJOSH on Twitch.tv, I'll get the
You get
Tiny Toons deep lore I've so longly craved?
all the
You
lore
need to
that
have
you want.
you have to have a congruent $24.99 sub to Calithon as well, though. That's how you lock in
That's the only way it works. Yeah. I know.
You'll get great emotes and Tiny Toons deep lore.
2 perks right there.
I see this going gravely wrong, but I'm okay with that.
We're just gonna bash our head on this.
Remember that Tiny Toons episodes where there were a bunch of angry crabs? The thing
Do you remember the one when he just bonked his head on the ceiling forever?
It was a really weird
And
episode.
didn't drown?
23 whole minutes of him smashing his head. It was real weird.
Yeah, you can see these fish are definitely not impressed.
We'll be back from commercial break to watch Busty's.
Continues smashing his head into the wall.
Totally fine with that, though.
Alright. I gotta get control before I think of just a tank commercial. I think Buster. Okay. Alright, alright.
Breathe, Turbo. Breathe.
The mind wanders too much.
All right, so this boss actually has a cool little skip. Before I explain it, let's see if I can just do it. There's this one column you'll see me lining up against. You can get a wall jump on this side, and it's very weird. That goes. And that obviously speeds up this whole entire fight, because you have to wait for him to hammer the ground, and then he'll fly back, so. Oh, that's good. That's 2. Nope. We're fine, though. And that should be it. It's still a good fight, though. To be able to get 2 of those wall jumps off the side. Very weird, very limited window. Kind of precise movement speed towards the wall. It's just a very weird setup. And it doesn't work on the right side that I know of. So. And now we're into just proof that this is a Sonic clone. If anybody's a big fan of Marble Zone, you'll be right at home here. Except for this music probably isn't as good as Marble Zone, because we know Marble Zone's music's amazing.
Yeah, don't pay attention to the sprite of the lava bubbling there.
Yeah, that
Stop
wasn't straight ripped from Sonic. We're good.
Remember that episode of Tiny Toons when Buster fell into that pit of eternal damnation? That was it's kind of a weird one.
It was a
Pretty avant-garde.
really intense one, actually. I think that was an hour-long special.
Yeah, it was the New Year special, I think.
So we're gonna do a little wall jump
It's a
skip here.
2-parter. Aired on Easter as well.
Yeah, yeah. Ring in the New Year and celebrate Easter while Buster atones for his sins.
We get that
He knows what he did.
So usually I could save this right here, but I just wanted to be able to run through the lava there.
Well, yeah, he stole sprites from Sonic.
Still good. Alright, still have max hearts, so we're still good. Like any good speedrun, the worst levels are like the final 3, so.
You notice how strict the health budgeting is also on some of these stages. Like, Josh is taking just enough damage to kind of make it through the stage, but each one of these damage boosts that he's taking is assisting him and making him some time. Like, he doesn't have to wait for any of the cycles on the platforms here. He can just kind of move on to the next section.
And yeah, you just kind of go for it. It's one of those things where just going fast actually helps.
That's kind of a big misconception with speedrunning, is not every optimization is going to be saving 20 minutes or whatever. Sometimes it's those 1 and 2 second time saves over the course of an entire stage that really add up.
I just had a small heart attack, but we're fine.
You know, if I could really quick, we're having a real great time here reminiscing about our favorite episodes of Tiny Toons. I just want to turn it over to you guys. If you want to tell us what your favorite episode of Tiny Toons was, go ahead and send a donation. Put it in the comment. Let us know what you enjoyed most, your favorite episode of Tiny Toons Adventures.
If you make it up, it's fine too.
Make it
Fine
up.
with us.
These are all real episodes of the show.
Legit.
The show had 29 seasons.
This is actually based on the movie.
The third one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Which
like how you
is a
save.
prequel to the second one.
Oddly enough, yeah. It was
It's really weird.
it was a really, really progressive show.
So here's a really interesting level. It's only interesting because now that I think about it, it's the only vertical level that we do. But it's vertical water, so it's actually kind of neat if you know where you're going. If you don't, then it's kind of awful. We're just gonna keep on falling. Not jump on those spikes. And remember, if I die, I lose all my hearts, so it makes the rest of the game a lot slower and less fun.
Also, slight thing there. We noticed that Lucky does not have a superhero identity because you already clearly saved him, but superhero was still mind controlled. So
Yeah, that's
clearly
an interesting thing. 2 different characters. It's like Doug and Quail Man, 2 different characters.
But isn't it weird that you never saw them in the same room at the same time? So weird.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
yeah, but I never see you and a live tiger in the same room. So
You're right. Who's to say?
So I believe that this level is based on Ghouls and Ghosts, just because of this ship theme, and I don't know. I just feel like it is.
it is rather odd that it's like a haunted ship, which you'd think pirates, but then there's just like
Knights.
yeah. I guess they couldn't decide if they wanted a haunted house or a haunted ship, so they just kind of did the old sandwich together.
Also, those chomping jaws, whatever you call those toys, the ones on the ground, they ignore iframes. So if you deboost into spikes or into an enemy and then hit one of those, it's an instant 2-parter. It just it's great. That was a really loud message.
So these are kind of pretty
Random.
strict jumps also.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to jump on him if he's close like that, but luckily we're just gonna wait for him to not jump there because I don't want to die. So here we go.
Typically in a speedrun, you don't want to die.
So you're gonna ask the host whose that was, because I'm pretty sure he didn't see the text.
Let's see here. So, do you know the name of the crab right there? Well-known character.
Geraldathy? Or that was his French name.
Well, that's not that one, but I can see where you get that, because that's his twin, so, I mean,
Oh,
it's
that's
kind
what
of
it
hard
was.
to
Was
tell
it-
the difference.
What was it? Tambor? But with 2 A's and an apostrophe in the middle, right?
Okay, well, okay, now that you said that, yeah. Because it's important to have
The apostrophe.
punctuation there.
Yeah.
Did you also notice that Tambor had 1 eye? Cyclops.
Well, I mean, his twin has 1 eye too, but he has glass
Yeah, well, that's
eye.
because of... There was a whole, 2-season arc where it explained how they were split from the same hole.
Okay, we need to
They
figure
were
out
one.
why these snowmen are so angry.
Oh, that... Do we have time?
That's the deepest of lore right there.
I mean, I'm just wondering what type of severe vendetta they could have.
Season
against
17 was all about political discourse in the North. That's what they're mad about.
Buster. They explained all of the carrots on the nose too. Oh man,
That in
that's
itself
dark.
was...
Did you notice that Buster's picking up a bunch of carrots right now?
Think
Like,
about
he
it.
collects them.
Think about it. Art.
It's all coming together now.
This is a dark timeline.
So here comes probably just the worst stage.
Oh, God,
if you
just
actually make it this far with all the hearts, this is the stage that you actually have to take all. You just take it all. It's just brutal. You get damage boost 3 times in the beginning, and then once at the end, and you hopefully make through with just enough. And well, we're not. So
We do have a $5 donation from MASH. Shoutouts to Josh and Turbo for the Dragon's Crown run. Good luck to all the runners and bring home the treasure, but please don't burn the meats.
all right, so we made it through. That was kind of sketchy at the beginning, but I was able to make it through the next part. So that level was fun because you needed the hearts to go through it quickly. This next level, you don't need the hearts to make it through. You just, like how I did in the very beginning, you'll see it's just awful.
It's like everything looks easy when it's done well as well.
Slow down there because I don't want to jump on the spikes.
Shoutouts to Buff Arctic Wolf, I guess, with his sunglasses.
I just, out of all of the characters, That's the one I don't know. I just called him Arnold the dog.
It's really coincidental. His name was Arthur.
Arthur, okay.
Yeah, that really is a dazzling coincidence.
That's right.
He was introduced in 1980.
I mean,
Or was it 1981?
there's really too much lore for any one person to know, so, you need
It's really
groups of
great we get to
experts.
share this.
Yeah.
Look at this guy's head bob, by the way. Really rocking out when you hit him on there. And now he's just,
I mean, at least he's having a good
Screaming.
time crashing.
Hampton's just vacuuming the snow, so that's good. And then this is the final area here. We're going to do a nice little level skip. We don't want to really platform all the way up, so we're just going to float on this robot's head, who's just kind of blinking away. I'm going to stand to the far left over here because once we get at the top, we're going to jump off of one of those ships onto one of these moving platforms, duck over an electrical field, and then jump on a guy, and it just should go kind of all fast.
Nice boost there.
Yeah, those are actually just... It's so easy to drop them. Those are spikes above there, instant death spikes, so it's a nice change that they're on the ceiling and not the ground this time. Well, cool.
They even took the pushing sprite.
Yeah, the pushing sprite's the same too.
Like somebody just traced.
Yeah, we will see more pushing in the final level.
They didn't even put it in a sprite tracer. They actually just took a sheet of paper. Just right
It's
up
like-
to the TV screen, all blurry.
If you look hard enough, you can just see the outline of Sonic Sprite. It's just that bad.
It's actually one frame of it is left in the animation. I mean, I'd love to have more commentary on this ghost stuff here, but Josh is just like crushing like every stage.
It's actually going a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, like watching Josh practice a lot of these stages. Like I said, the health budgeting on some of these stages is so strict, and you might get one mistake you can make, but after that, like anything else, you're going back.
It's a very satisfying speedrun though, and I learned it within a couple of days, and then you just gradually learn from that, but I recommend it. So if anybody has any actual real questions about this game, just don't be afraid to message me on Twitter or Twitch or anywhere. So ducking and going forward is actually one of the most difficult things for me because I'm using the best Genesis controller. And this D-pad is like just completely broken on mine. Oh, that was nice. A little clip there.
I never really liked that episode of Tiny Toons where Buster got stuck in a dystopian future warehouse.
What about the one where he learned to jump up walls?
That was a good one. That was a very emotional one.
It was a feel-good moment of the summer.
Which was weird because it came out in November.
Listen,
But that was how they marketed it. It was weird.
Listen, production takes time, okay?
No, I know. Something of that caliber, every single frame was drawn by hand, live. It was a 97-hour episode.
Live. It's best. And do a little up. That's fine. Alright. And now we have the final stage, pretty much. Which is fun. If you put in the password for all worlds, which I have to do for practice in this game, it doesn't give you the final levels. It just kind of puts you at the end of the ice, and it's like, hey, there you go. That's good.
You got to put in your own work.
Good enough for you. And here's a little chase scene here.
So Elmira is a little bit of a sport here because if you do get caught up a little bit, she will slow down. The chase is what's important.
This music's what's important. So also, she does kill animals with kindness. I don't know if that's okay or not, but that's...
I don't think it's okay that you just disintegrated
Can
her
you
by
legit-
going through that door.
Opt to save animals with kindness, or is that slower?
I don't know if she does that.
She's a speedrunner.
Didn't you just see that scene?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Literally a speedrunner.
Alright, so then we're gonna do this, and then we got one more bonk. Max comes out again. He's a brat.
We closing in on time here?
Yeah, we have time coming up.
Alright.
So we're gonna have 4 more hits. We'll just say time when it's ready.
Good old Mech Max.
Mech Max, yes. Spoiled Mech Max. And time. I'm super happy with the 24:32. My PB I just got last week de-rusting for this, and it was 23:48. So I'm definitely happy with that run. So yeah, as you just saw, what about the treasure? Finders keepers, losers weepers, and that's the story. So appreciate having me. Thanks Turbo for being on the couch. Jeff for hosting. Always great timing. I love being matched up with you guys. Stick around for the rest of the marathon. It's going to be amazing. It's always fun. I've been here since the first one, and I love to see this keep on going. So thanks for having me.
Thanks for letting me make dumb jokes.
No, dude, I loved it. Every bit of it.
I mean, that was the point of this game, right?
Yeah, it made my run
Wait, are
better.
you saying that this game is a dumb joke? This game is a work of art.
We needed 30 minutes to shove as many Tiny Toons related things as we could in there.
And
We're
remember,
building the wiki
for
right
that
now.
$24.99
Assembling
sub.
the wiki by hand.
You get
Okay,
all
maybe
the
we-
Tiny Toons lore you want.
Maybe we aren't building the Tiny Toons wiki, but we're building the Calithon wiki on the Tiny Toons run.
I'm okay
There's
with
a
that.
whole like sub-thread on the Tiny Toons pages.
There's just a Reddit where it's like every Calithon run and all the lore behind it.
Reddit.com/r/Calithon Tiny Toons lore.
It's already there.